everything is not what it seems. Especially when it comes to the story of Coraline. What if everything we know about the story has been a lie? Through a multitude of sources, it's stated that the Beldam is from fairy descent.
Give me your skin!
I meant that would make sense. John Keats' poem parallels the story of Coraline quite well, and that would also explain the fairy circle that is literally in the beginning of the film. So that's it then. The Beldam's a fairy, and I'll see you in the next one. You guys didn't think it was that easy, right? I mean, did you see what the title of this channel is? If the Beldam is a fairy, why on earth would you pick a place like the Pink Palace? It's secluded and there's not a lot of options when it comes to, you know, like snacking on stuff. Also, like, here's a kicker. How is the Beldam, like, still living after the period of time between her third victim and Coraline? Like, just does not make sense. And that thing that just doesn't make sense is the Beldam herself. What if a Beldam isn't actually living at all? What if she's a spirit of sorts trapped in the Pink Palace for all eternity? Now, why on earth would I come to this conclusion? Recently, I couldn't sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning like normal people, and I stumbled upon Sam and Colby's channel, a channel dedicated to finding the truth about haunted places around the world. Would highly recommend it. Now, within the video exploring Lizzie Borden's house, Sam and Colby's friend Amanda, who is a medium, describes an entity as this. It's just sharp. His limbs are long, its face was completely distorted, and its neck was long. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that seems pretty similar to the appearance of the Beldam in the film. She has a cracked, distorted face with a creepy smile, hollowed out button eyes that don't show her true intent, a long neck and long limbs to tower over our protagonist. She even has needles for hands. If you've ever poked yourself with a needle, you know it's quite sharp.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Even her wardrobe implies this as well. Now, the similarities between the Beldam and this entity don't stop there. Amanda goes on to say, it sits up in corners or down low where you can see it, kind of just against the wall, and its head was tilted, watching all of us. Is this not what the Beldam does as well? Watching Coraline like a hawk when she comes to visit, and also spying on her through the doll in the film version. Even countless characters tell Coraline to be quiet.
Hush and shush, for the Beldam might be listening.
This would also explain why her film appearance is in the form of a spider. She could always be lurking in the corners of any room. You know, just like how a spider does that you see in your house and you can't freaking get it because it's in like the top corner of somewhere and you're like, oh my god, it's just gonna stay there. Because I don't feel like getting a freaking ladder to go smush that freaking spider. Ooh, I don't like spiders. Now, that same feeling of being watched is the same type of eerie feeling that Sam and Colby feel when visiting these haunted areas. So, if the Beldam is a spirit of sorts, what kind of spirit could she be? I think the most likely option is that she's a demonic spirit, an evil spirit who has no ties to a human form. This is also allegedly seen at the Sally house, a house haunted by a little girl who might not actually be a little girl at all. It's rumored that she's probably a demonic spirit shape-shifting in the form of a little girl to have people let their guard down and attach herself to them. The Beldam is seen doing this as well when she takes the shape of Coraline's real mother, even to the point where not even Coraline can tell the difference. Demonic entities are also known to be able to mimic voices, which is again seen with the Beldam, but I think the biggest evidence to showcase that we're working with a demonic entity here are these two songs from the book. The first comes to Coraline in a dream.
We are small, but we are many. We are many and we are small. We were here before you rose, and we'll be here when you fall.
A couple of chapters later, we get this song from the rats of the other world.
We have teeth and we have tails. We have tails and we have teeth. We were here before you fell, and you will be here when we rise.
Both versions talk about how they were here before and how they will still be here later on. And for demons, they're not condemned to time. They were here before all of us, and they'll still be here when mankind ultimately falls. And in one known case, a demonic entity actually played a hand. Now, the Bell Witch Estate is the only place on record that a person actually died from supernatural causes. This entity is known to be a trickster of sorts, openly lying about her origins to anyone that dares visit the grounds. Now that same type of behavior closely resembles how the Beldam is. She's a trickster who loves playing games.
Everybody likes games.
Yes, but most people play fair. Beldam's normally seen lying. She steals Coraline's parents and proceeds to say this.
Perhaps they've grown bored of you and run away to France.
Okay, I know it's not in the books, but I find that line, like, really funny. Is it just me? It's probably just me. Then we got this bombshell of a line in the books.
I swear it on my mother's grave. Does she have a grave? Oh yes. I put her there myself, and when I found her trying to crawl out, I put her back.
Okay, so technically, we don't know if she's lying or not. If she is a demon of sorts, she's made out of pure energy, so she wouldn't have a mother at all. The only reason I kind of included this line in this whole talk is because I found it really insanely interesting, and I kind of want to know what your theories are about it, because I don't know how to perceive it.
This would also explain why the other spirits don't defy the other mother's control.
Due to her strong energy, she's able to project the most, making the others flee like the other children, or cower in fear behind her, like the other father and other Wybe.
Mustn't talk when mother's not here.
Now this would also explain why the other father and the kids are so talkative when the Beldam isn't present and actually try to help Coraline through other father's song and the other kids explaining their side of the story. The Beldam is a very powerful and dangerous spirit. So the biggest question is, what is the Beldam's motivation? The only person or animal that actually explains what the Beldam's intent is the cat. He might be a little more direct in the film.
How do you taste?
But in the books, it's actually kind of more open-ended.
She wants something to love, something that isn't her. She might want something to eat as well. It's hard to tell with creatures like that.
This kind of goes to show that not even the cat really knows what the Beldam's all about. And I kind of agree. I don't think Coraline is just there to be a snack for the Beldam. After countless times of Coraline saying, hey, no, I don't want to stay here, one would think that the Beldam would be like, too bad, so sad. Let me go grab the salt and pepper. And even in their last encounter, it kind of feels like, especially in the book, that the Beldam really isn't trying that hard. She's just kind of like,
Stop, don't come back.
and just proceeds to let Coraline like go through the door. It's almost like the Beldam wants Coraline to leave. Now throughout the story, it feels like this is an invitation for Coraline to come to this other world, and that's what we all believe to be true. What if this isn't even an invitation at all? This is a prison for the Beldam, and the only way to get out of this prison is through a living vessel. Just like our dear friend Sally, who's not actually a girl at all, she's a demon who likes to attach to people, the Beldam does a similar thing. The Beldam wants Coraline to feel loved and understood because she wants her to put her guard down. And in order for her to attach herself to our protagonist, who's to say she didn't try this with the other kids? But for them, temptation of staying there was greater. Now I'm not really entirely sure what the Beldam would actually want to do after she escaped the other world. She could turn Coraline into her personal puppet and control her whenever she wants, or she could feast off of Coraline's emotional aura like the parasite she is. Who's to say? I don't think humans will ever actually understand what demonic entities' motivations actually are. I'm pretty sure they just see us as dolls that they can play with. All I know is that the only way to stop a creepy creature from putting buttons in your eyeballs is to like this video. Honest to gosh, I thought that would be funny, but now I just sound like a freaking jerk. If you like this video so far, maybe you want to like it, I don't know. With all that being said and done, why is the Beldam stuck at the Pink Palace? And what the heck is the other world? Through countless characters have stated that she created this place. In the book, that's not actually entirely true. The cat once again says something that makes me kind of contradict what all the other characters say. The reason why I take his word over everyone else's word, he seems like he's around the same age as the Beldam, or at the very least, the same intellectual level the Beldam is at, and he says, made it, found it, what's the difference? Either way, she had it for a very long time. So with that being said, he doesn't know, and this could be before their time. They could have been there when the other world was created. And in my eyes, I actually think that the other world is actually a limbo of sorts.
All right, limbo.
No, not that one. The area of the afterlife that's neither good or bad, deprived of all joy. That doesn't sound like the other world at all, then I don't know what is. Half these spirits are not having a nice time. This could be why the Pink Palace is the only thing that's in this other world. This is what all of these spirits are trapped to. And why her cake has a double loop in the word home, because this isn't Coraline's home. And it can't be because she's still part of the living. Come to think about it, maybe that's also why there's only one key. Speaking of keys, I don't think this is the only cursed object that we deal with in this story. And no, I'm not talking about the buttons either. I'm talking about mirrors. Mirrors are said to be portals, and in some cases, spirits are able to flow freely from place to place, like at the Stanley Hotel, like The Shining is based upon. Other times, they can be looked upon as prisons. It's also a big reason why they put tarps over mirrors before someone was about to pass on. If a spirit sees its own reflection, it could be trapped behind the glass. And in Coraline, mirrors are used twice, with Coraline's parents being stuck behind one, and with Coraline and the other children. It's also a big reason why the kids can't just float away from the room that they're trapped in. Someone asked me that in the comments of my other video, and it was really interesting, so thanks for making me look this up. Now, the mention of mirrors does not stop there, because there's actually an interesting description of the grand mirror in the book. The mirror had been a long time before. It had been hanging there on the wall when they moved in, and although Coraline's mother had spoke occasionally of replacing it with something newer, she never had. So if the mirror has been sitting there for a really long time, that would mean that the Pink Palace is insanely old, which also makes sense due to the ghost wardrobes. Now, through all of that time, a lot of trauma can be hidden behind the walls, whether that be from the kids going missing or even more tragedy stemming around the grounds. I am willing to bet that somebody on these grounds probably died from the Black Death. Do you see how many freaking rats are running around the freaking other world? With all of this tragic vibes going on in the Pink Palace's grounds, it would make sense why a demonic entity would want to root itself here. It wanted to feast off of the tragic energy and become more powerful. But that tragic energy just stopped coming when the ban on kids happened. When the Beldam was like, okay, I'm gonna leave. She can't because she was stuck behind the door. Stuck in this room until Coraline opened the door and caused the paranormal to start appearing again. Which is probably why in the film version, the Beldam says as her final words. She does not want to be in this place any longer. I meant, why would you? It's just literally a house. But hey, that's just what I think. Those are my thoughts about what the Beldam is, but I genuinely think that she could be a multitude of different things. I actually think that the Beldam in the book version may be 100% different than the movie version, and I'd love to hear your thoughts as to what you think she is. If movies like Coraline are your cup of tea, then you may want to go watch this little Coraline video right over here. I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!